think this is it is a virus. There is a virus out there, but it is a flu virus. That we've been told that time and time again. But the mainstream media never call it a flu virus. It is always a pandemic killer. Why they have to scaremonger the nation?
It's a coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus. A coronavirus is a flu virus.
Yeah, but the coronavirus is its real name.
Yeah, the coronavirus. Why don't they call it that? Why is it called a pandemic? The killer virus.
Well, because
whenever BBC report on it.
A pandemic is something that affects multiple countries, so it is a pandemic because it's affected most countries in the world.
Is it a killer pandemic? It's not a killer pandemic at all. If we had the real figures...
Well, we've had 50,000 deaths. I think that qualifies as a killer pandemic.
From COVID, I'm hearing of people dying from cancer, and they're still having COVID put on the death certificate because they had a test 2 months ago. I worked in the NHS.
Well, that's just not true. You've just told a lie.
No, I haven't told a lie at all.
Yes, you have. Because COVID is only put down as either the cause of death or you die with COVID if you've been tested in the hang on. If you've been tested in the last 28 days, that's the qualification for being included in those figures.
Which they've changed anyway.
But I'm right, aren't I?
No, with COVID.
I am right.
Not from COVID.
With COVID or from COVID, tested in the last 28 days. I'm right, aren't I? The correct answer is yes.
You're definitely not. I worked within the NHS and left because I don't want to be part of this. When you see the empty hospital wards and nurses standing around saying, yeah, I know, it's really quiet, isn't it? Well, we're not allowed to say anything. It is ridiculous.
Karen?
They're scaring the nation for no reason at all. Every small business will be put out of business for what? For what? If everyone said, no, I'm opening my shop, I'm opening my bar, I'm opening my hairdressers, this pandemic would disappear.
Karen?
No, it would get worse.
Karen, could I just ask you a quick question, Karen, just for one moment? Do you actually think that the coronavirus is a pandemic, or do you actually think that it's a lot of false information that's being put out there?
I do think it's a pandemic. I'm not saying it isn't. But it is a coronavirus. It isn't a killer plague. Which is the mainstream media are trying to make people think that we are treading over dead people in the street. It is not.
But in terms of
a ridiculous thing to say.
Okay, but in terms of the volume of people who have died globally, that then qualifies it as a pandemic and killing significant numbers of people. I mean, I think the number is up into the millions in terms of the number of people who have passed away. So I'm not quite sure why you're saying that you don't think that it is the main killer. It is a huge killer.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with it. There are a lot of vulnerable people that have died that would have probably died. Why aren't we hearing about the flu virus this year?
Because it's not upon us yet.
80,000 people, unfortunately, to the flu. Why are we not hearing these figures? Why are we hearing just the COVID figures? Is there no flu this year then?
Karen,
is there no normal flu like we have every year?
Karen, just 1 second. I'm not saying that we haven't heard sufficiently enough about the flu the winter flu deaths. I'm getting myself tongue-tied now. But essentially, when you go forward, that's one of the reasons why we're having the lockdown again, because we're concerned, well, not we, but the government is concerned that they're not going to be in a position to deal with the number of people who are going to die in addition to winter flu. So
in addition to winter flu?
Yes, because there's going to be no IC beds. There's not going to be the number of people out there to support people who are unwell. So that was some of the reasons why the steps were being taken. So I think there's a lot of people who share your view in a certain way, but I don't necessarily know if it's...
I speak to people in shops, at schools, everywhere I go, and they all say, oh, it's ridiculous. Why don't the government listen to them? Why don't we get a chance to go on BBC and say what we feel?
Well, you get a chance to come on LBC. I mean, you have been. I know, but you do have a chance to come on LBC and air your views, even if it's not ones that are shared by a wide variety of people. So there is a forum for you.
Yes, literally a couple of radio stations. But you wouldn't get on BBC or the main evening news saying, there's these many people.
Well, they do have vox pops. They do have vox pops of people on all the news programmes. You said you worked in the NHS. What did you do in the NHS?
I was in admin.
Right.
There's so many people that want to speak out but won't. They are frightened. And I totally get that. But it's so
What is it that they are scared of, though, Karen?
Scared of losing their jobs.
So do you think that there is a large number of people, let's say for argument's sake, who are, as far as they're concerned, they're part of a...
they're part of it.
Of a viewpoint that they can't express? I mean, I don't...
many people, and I'm talking doctors, consultants, admin staff, porters, nurses, but they can't speak out with fear of losing their job. I get that. They've got families to support. I don't actually need the job to survive. So if I walk away, I walk away. And I'm doing a completely different job now, which I'm enjoying. I won't get furloughed. But, I feel for people who are being furloughed, self-employed, or are losing their income. We've got a bumbling Boris in charge. Go to work.
So what is it that you're doing now, Karen? Is it quite different from your NHS work?
Absolutely different. I'm doing emergency call operating on, people who have got gas leaks and water leaks. So I won't be first. And that suits me fine.
Would you consider taking the vaccination, Karen, if it was offered?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why is that?
Vaccines take years to the testing of them. They take years. How are they getting a vaccine out in months? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Unless it's already been out for years, of course. We don't know. We will never know. We never know the truth.
What do you mean, already been out for years?
Well, are they using something that's already been out, that's already been developed?
So like a recycled product, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case currently. But then I'm not an epidemiologist or a scientist, so I don't know.
I wish I was. But no, I don't want the vaccine at all. Same as I don't want flu vaccine either. But
really?
That's up to everyone.
I mean, what kind of attitude is that? Why wouldn't you want a flu vaccine if it stopped you getting the flu?
Because I've had one in 30 years. That was the only year I was so ill.
What, one bout of flu or one bout of the vaccination?
I'm not saying other people not to have it. That's a personal thing. I've had it once in 30 years. That was the year I was ill. I've never had it again, and I won't have it again. But everyone's got their own opinions on vaccinations, and I'm not here to tell people to have or not have vaccinations. Karen?